after the show
Why?
because I want to know why this weekend went.
It was great.
Oh, okay.
TK, we
Look,
actually stayed right next door to the Hilton. We stayed at the to the W. We stayed at the Hilton, right next to the W. I was
what that mean?
right next door at the Hilton.
Nosy, did, and
Uh-huh.
good.
See,
So
I don't know.
yes, you were right next to us. Awesome.
She say us. You got stock in the W? That's you?
No, meaning the week before though. We weren't there the same weekend.
Nice. Got you.
Yeah, but that ocean view is beautiful, isn't it?
Crazy.
It's
Crazy.
crazy.
So, how was your weekend, Miss TK?
Just
Miss
telling people
Tequila?
my government name. Just
I caught myself, but I'm used to calling you that.
well, Ryan say I'm a new person with these braids anyway.
Brand new.
He was like, "Who is that?"
I
Really,
literally didn't know
Ryan?
who that was. For
Whatever.
real, you look like somebody that I know.
My daughter. I look like my daughter. I look 10 years
And I
younger.
wish I never met.
Sing.
Then how was your day? A weekend.
My day was.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sam.
My day was good. I'm back.
Weekend, I'm sorry.
I'm back in Los Angeles. Praise God. I'm happy to
that's
be
right.
back home for a little bit. I mean,
Yay.
and I do mean a little bit. I'm here for a week. And then we start going back out. Butterfly Black has. Oh, we're not live yet, so.
Here we are.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Oh, look at devils. Butterfly Black has a couple of shows this month. August 3rd in New York City, August 19th in Las Vegas, August 21st maybe in LA, and August 28th in DC. So we're excited. We got a new single coming out on the 19th of August. So we're also looking forward to that. You guys, Talk Miami fam. Yeah, I got a preview. And I'm just happy to be back in my crib. We hired an organizer to come to our apartment to sort of
Organize?
make sense of two people sharing a space, but also
clutter.
because clutter and my brain is a creative brain, so I don't always see how things will fit orderly, in an orderly fashion. So she's coming in and she did a consultation and she explained what would be the best of things to go where. And it was really fun to give it to somebody else and see their perspective, because Lord knows I don't want to do it.
That's interesting. My mama took stuff out the way and said, "You ain't wear it in 6 months. You can't wear it no more."
Right.
Just throw stuff away. You be like, "You be keeping this and be getting rid of that."
Right.
Need to come down here to Miami.
Right. This is a Black-owned business. Her name is Charlotte Upshaw of Shelf Life. She's awesome. And she just makes spaces make sense. And her job is completely essential, because in a season the place we pull up again and she has to come back to do a spruce. We travel so much, so it's really hard to sort of keep everything tidy and a part of a system where we're not here all the time, constantly switching out our closet.
Okay. Ryan, how was your weekend?
Weekend was phenomenal. I told you my birthday is July 24th, so I started a little early and I got a kickstart to it this weekend. Man, just a really, really quality weekend from front to back. Couple of things that went down that weekend. This weekend, I'm gonna talk about one of them tonight. It was just a really, really good reset for me, I guess you could say.
Y'all don't mind me. I'm just doing my light. Keep talking.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff right there. It's looking better already.
Okay.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good, much needed. Obviously my birthday's on Sunday coming up, my official birthday, but it was great. It was much needed, man. There's nothing like the beach for me, man. A lot of people, they like the mountains. Some people like the forest. Some people, they close to the water, and I'm just a beach person. I was laying there on the beach. I was sitting on the beach and I was thinking to myself, where would I rather be? And every time I'm on the beach, I can't think of anywhere else I'd rather be. And even if I went there, I would always want to come back to the beach if I could. So it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Same, Ryan. I have to be. That's my peace. Is to go to the ocean.
Yeah.
Or be surrounded around water. I just love it.
Yeah. And to get up high and see the horizon of the ocean.
Yes.
Also in the waves crashing, on top of being able to go to the beach. Yeah.
Yeah. We literally live in a.
I can't remember.
You said what, Shonda?
I'm trying to remember what I did this weekend, but I can't remember because I got a little bit of ADD. So with that, we're gonna keep it moving. Woo! I love that intro every time.
Every time I wonder where'd y'all get that beat from? Like legit, was that some free music
I
off
don't know.
of?
That's our what we call the producer. The producer over here did that.
It actually was like one of the songs from an
Yeah.
app that we use, a free, but it was like you go through all the music and try to look for the right one, and I was just feeling that beat. And then,
Yeah,
of course, with Cindy, with our outro, I Just Want to Love You, that was perfect. It's a
official.
great segue to end the night. So,
Are we gonna update it when she release her new one?
absolutely. And will do.
And will. Well, let's get it because we'll be on here for 2 hours
Yep.
if it was up for the people. I
Yep.
want to first say hello to our audience, our viewing audience, our virtual family. Thank you all for joining us again. To our faithful few, Gloria Massman, Mama, we love you. Thank you for always tuning in. Ryan, I don't see. Oh, Katrina's here too. Hey, Katrina and Ryan, they're my babies, Mama and Daddy. Sarah Santana, that's my sis. I'm glad y'all. Girl, stay out my business. You always in my business though, TK.
TK.
Ain't nobody comment but you. Don't worry about it. Me and Jordan have a special relationship. Don't worry about it.
You didn't even meet Jordan.
Thank you all for tuning in. Again, please share this live with people who need to see it. We're going to be talking about a serious topic tonight. So with that, I'm going to keep it moving. Good evening, Sarah, again. With that, I'm going to keep it moving. So tonight, our first topic, we are discussing topic 1, how common is bullying? Is your child being bullied? Is your child a bully? Who's going to help us with this topic is Miss Christina Neptune. She's our special guest. She's a mother of a child who was bullied in school. She's going to talk and share her experience. So let's all welcome Christina Neptune and thank her for joining. We can have some applause, Ryan.
Yeah, let me get you real quick. Let me get you real quick. Welcome, Christina.
Thank you so much, Christina, for being here. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And let me just let y'all know that Christina has 2 hands, but I swear she's octopus. She has so many, I'm not going to say talents. She is truly gifted in my eyes, I believe, because she's not only a makeup artist. She does makeup for, of course, the women or whoever wants makeup done. She also does dramatic makeup for set life. She also cooks. She bakes. She's a barber. She does nails. She draws. She does graphic designing. She is awesome. Her hands are truly gifted. Aww. So when you all get out this page, we'll give out her information. You can follow her, book her, hire her, do something. Because whatever you want, I promise you she can do it. Oh, and she make wigs. And she do hair. Yes, and I know I'm missing some stuff. Give us a rundown real quick, Christine. I know I'm missing some stuff.
I don't even know. I'm an author. I'm an activist. It's a lot of stuff I do. I'm heavy in the community, so I'm all over.
Yeah, she's also domestic violence survivor.
Yes,
survivor, and she also feeds our homeless community over in Overtown, right?
Yes.
So she does that. Was that weekly, monthly? I know you do it quite often.
Weekly.
Yeah. So she does it all. I don't know how she does it with her time. Y'all think I'm busy? No, ma'am. This one here stays busy. So even though we're here to talk about something as serious as bullying, I want to go ahead and just share this clip first. So I want to give everyone a disclaimer. This may be triggering. It may be bothersome. So I'm giving you a disclaimer right now. If you cannot look at it for the next 2 minutes, You can go ahead and go off and come back. Please come back. We want to talk about it. So I'm going to share this this clip from Channel 10.
Talking about a lot. They say it's plagued by bullies, leading to 2 recent arrests.
And now we're learning about a big change at the top of that school. Local 10's Christian De La Rosa live in Hallandale Beach with this update. Christian.
We're talking about Gulfstream Academy, and you might remember 2 teens were arrested in connection to one of many fights reported at the school in which a 13-year-old was knocked unconscious. We're learning the school will now have a new principal.
Watching my daughter cry on a daily basis and just trying to understand why does she have to go through what she has to go through.
Christina Neptune's 13-year-old daughter is seen here being beat. A vicious attack happened in the school cafeteria at Gulfstream Academy on Hallandale Beach back in April. Since then, a growing number of parents and community leaders have been calling for accountability. Some even demanding the removal of the school principal, Tarsha Freeman. They point to what they say is a growing problem with violence at the K-8 school. Now, documents obtained by Local 10 News show the principal is being reassigned from Gulfstream, a school with over 1,400 students, to Broward Estates Elementary with 288. I reached out to the school district to ask them about the reasons behind this reassignment, if it had anything to do with parents' concerns over safety at the school or demands for accountability. A school board spokesperson telling me no comment.
And there were staff in the cafeteria, but the kids were still able to beat Victoria, literally unconscious.
Rossi Williams is the victim's attorney.
It's like just taking a Band-Aid off of a wound and applying another dressing, but never really doing what is necessary.
A spokesperson for the union representing principals in our area did tell Local 10 News previously that security really isn't the responsibility of a principal at the school. Again, that's according to this union. By the way, the new principal at Gulfstream Academy will be Carlton Campbell from Pines Middle. We're live in Hallandale.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Just
okay. Let's take a breather real quick.
no, I'm okay. You know, it's just it used to be worse before. I used to see the video, and even when I hear it, it used to be at one point that I would play the video every second, every minute. Because I used to try and place the blame on myself that happened to my daughter. But I'm at like a different place now. Like even when the video was playing, I didn't watch it. I kind of just had to put my head down and just listen to it. And I just kind of remember how the video was. But that's tough. Like, I don't wish that on my enemy.
I can imagine. I'm gonna give you a minute to get yourself while I talk about. I have some statistics and how common. So our question for tonight was, how common is bullying? So I got this information from stopbullying.gov. About 20% of students aged 12 to 18 experienced bullying nationwide. Students ages 12 to 18 who reported being bullied said they thought those who bullied them, one, had the ability to influence other students' perception of them by 56%, had more social influence 50%, were physically stronger or larger 40%, had more money 31%. Approximately 46% of students ages 12 to 18 who were bullied during the school year notify an adult in the school about bullying. My question is, I know you probably can't answer this question because it's just a question that not anyone can answer. Is why didn't the adults step in? Or if they did, how long did it take them to step in?
See, all that, to be honest, I don't even know the answer to that. From, talking with my daughter, and all I know is that from the point when she got there to when it happened, you know, she doesn't even really know anything because she was unconscious.
Wow.
So, you know, and that's what I got from the whole thing. And her brother came in to save her, and her brother didn't even see everything play out from the beginning. Um, so what was dropped out in the news, that's what I know.
What were her injuries, if any?
Um, she had an ankle injury and a concussion.
Wow.
Yeah,
How,
and because of it, she's doing therapy. She's still doing therapy. She's doing physical therapy for the ankle and vestibular therapy. Because she received she gets massive headaches.
wow.
Her vision has been affected by the whole incident. We have to follow up with neurologists. Um, Follow up with she has to get another MRI because the headaches are ongoing. It doesn't stop.
Wow. And see, I don't think, or maybe they don't care. I don't think kids in school realize the after effects of all of this. You know, mostly they want to make a point or prove themselves or whatever may have you, and they're not thinking about the consequences to the
Yeah.
person that they're bullying or to themselves. It's all about these days recording, getting likes, going viral, or whatever may have you. And people are not understanding some people have lifelong injuries that will happen to them because of this.
Yeah.
Even if the ones who are doing the bullying. I hope and
Yeah.
I pray that every person involved, and for me as a parent, I want the ones recording in trouble too. Because if you
Right.
can go run and tell someone, you're just as equally responsible. And that goes for adults. When we see things happening in our community and happening around us and things, people are recording before they even calling the police. Now, if you call the police and you're recording for evidence, that's fine. But call someone. I'm not saying jump in and break it up because we know sometimes it's dangerous to do that as well. Because being an advocate, I've seen things and I want to jump in and break it up, but I always have to make sure
Right.
I protect myself. But I'm going to alert someone or somebody, and that's the issue I have with all of this that's been going on, especially with social media. It's been crazy trying to
Yes.
go viral.
Yes.
I
Yes.
want to tell. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I was listening.
I want to just give people definition of bullying just in case they don't know. I want to assume everybody knows what bullying is. So the Center for Disease Control and Department of Education released the first federal definition of bullying in 2014. The definition includes three core elements: unwanted aggressive behavior, observed or perceived power imbalance, repetition or high likelihood of repetition of bullying behaviors. A lot of people like to say, "Well, I wasn't bullying her. I just called her this name," or "I wasn't bullying him. I just took this from him." If it's unwanted, it's bullying. And I think as
Mhm.
parents, we need to let our kids know it's not okay to bully, to be with a bully, to encourage bullying, or even sit and laugh at it. If you laugh at it, you're part of the problem.
Right.
I'm gonna let my team go ahead and talk because um, this is the problem for me. I don't know. TK, you have anything?
I just want to know, how is she mentally and psychologically, Christina? How is she doing? Does she have flashbacks or?
Yeah, she has flashbacks every day. Um, it's always a conversation like, "Mommy, why did this happen to me? Like, how could they do this?" And she's seeing a mental health therapist weekly to find ways to cope. And the therapy sessions are very intense.
Right.
You know, um, sometimes they end with her crying, and and that's her way of releasing. But it's been very, very, very tough because what I'm familiar with of how I was seeing my daughter prior to the incident, it's been a significant change in her and in our household.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Wow.
How's your
Ryan?
son?
You know, being the big brother, he's taking it one day at a time. People would think that, you know, my daughter is taking it bad, as she should. It's expected, but he's taking it as bad as she is.
Of course, because he witnessed it.
So yeah, he witnessed it, and you know, and he feels like, as his duty as a brother, he was supposed to be there to protect her, to prevent that from happening. So it's one of those things. He's healing too. He's in therapy too. Talking to a therapist every week, because it took a toll on him also.
Wow. Ryan?
Mom, what are their ages, your daughter and your son again?
13 and 14.
Oh man. Yeah, this is a topic that's pretty personal for me, being that I'm a former school counselor for 12 years. I worked K through 12. Spent the most of my time I spent it at an elementary school, K through 5. And at that age, you're talking about middle school, right? 12 and 14. Really,
yes.
Middle school. My first 3 years were at middle school, and at 3 different middle schools: Richmond Heights, Cutler Ridge Middle School, and Redland Middle School. And then I went to an elementary school for about 7 years. So it ran the gamut in terms of ages that I was around. But as you can imagine, the majority of my career, majority of what I dealt with during my career had to do with bullying. I was the go-to at the site. So I won't even talk about what I went through, being teased and picked on and bullied for being skinny when I was younger, because it sucked, and I dealt with that, but I made it out, and I fared a lot better than a lot of other people have, and what other people have gone through is, you know, nothing. What I went through is nothing compared to them. But as far as a counselor, you asked the question, Shonda, why didn't anybody step in? And so when I think about my time at the school and I saw what the problem was, I think what's happened is, with this lawsuit culture that we've been in here now for a couple of decades, close to, where everybody's running to sue somebody for dumping hot coffee in their lap and sue the McDonald's. The schools have gotten so paranoid, so hypersensitive about doing anything at all. And that's now gone too far, because at the end of the day, the school, the administration and the staff and everybody on that campus that's in charge of those students, their number one obligation and priority is safety for those students. Number one, before education, it's number one. At the end of the day, they have an obligation and a duty to keep the children safe. So when I hear the union representative, if I quote this correctly, say that it wasn't the principal's responsibility for the security to step in or take, if it wasn't the principal's responsibility, I need to know whose it was.
Right.
That's first and foremost. Secondly, this hesitation I talked about was a hesitation for the school to have so many policies in place for what the staff can and can't do and shouldn't do, out of fear of overstepping their boundaries. But listen, at the end of the day, as a human, you need to step in. And what I just witnessed on that video wasn't bullying, it was a beating. I mean, that was a full-blown fight. That was a beating. That even supersedes bullying, and bullying is bad enough as it is. And you talked about your daughter's physical injuries, and you just recently mentioned how she's seen a therapist. She's going to get over God willing, the physical things that she's going through aside from the neurological stuff, but there's a good chance she'll get, but the emotional wounds and the psychological wounds will last a lot longer for her, and maybe even your son. And they even trickle into her self-worth, her self-esteem, her self-perception. So this is not just about what happens physically. Oftentimes bullying takes more of a toll emotionally than it does physical. But it really just bothers me when I look at the school system, because this tendency, this pendulum has swung so far on the school being soft on how they interact and how they work with. At the end of the day, it's safety. And at the elementary school especially, but even at the middle school, you can't expect kids to police themselves. You touched on it, Shonda. What they're looking at here is entertainment. It's so heartbreaking when I was even in the schools, and now when I see students so detached, and a lot of this has to do with phones and the internet. They're so detached from what they're witnessing because they see it all the time on the screens, and now it's right in front of them. And it's also a chance for them to go viral or get a clip on their phone. But they're so detached from what somebody's going through, and they're kind of consumed by their device. You can't expect them to even understand it. So there's so many layers that we have to address with bullying. One of the layers goes with the right there with the students on campus, but then it's a societal thing. It's the internet. It's what we do as far as our standards. It's how we treat each other. There's so many layers to bullying. So it's really something personal to me. I could talk about it a lot longer. My thoughts are with you in terms of how you handle this with her and what she's going through and all of that stuff. needless to say. And if you ever want an extra ear or advice or something, someone to turn to, if I can ever be of any assistance, because I saw it far too often and I dealt with it far too often. And I'll be honest, a lot of the times in the school system, you have parents that will come in and complain about bullying with their parents, and it's not bullying. And what they do is it's almost like crying wolf. And students like your daughter and kids like yours who actually are going through it, the administration almost starts to hear it all the time. It's bullying every day. And I did actually a workshop at the elementary school one time to tell the parents, because a lot of the parents at that school were so hypersensitive to anything. And I was like, that's not bullying. That's just someone being mean, and it's not okay. But let's not use that word unless it's that word, because we need to really get involved when it is that word. So the definition is great that you put up, Shonda, and the last one is really important. It's that repetitive nature, because a lot of kids are just jerks, and a lot of that's modeled from home, and they come to school. We can identify somebody who's just mean. They're mean to everybody, mean to anybody. We need to address that. But bullying is targeted, and it's specific, and it's habitual, and it's repetitive. That's something that we need to have an intervention, and someone needs to get in really quick. Cindy, I don't mean to talk so long. I know we haven't heard from you yet, but I just got so much I could say about that, and I could say about this topic in general. So if I can ever be of any help or anything like that, any questions, just feel free to reach out.
Thank you.
Sin?
Yeah, I think, Ryan, you are an incredible resource in this, and an expert in sort of childhood development. So I think that you would be the person to comment the most on this topic. I have been a middle schooler. I work with a lot of middle schoolers, especially in what I do in arts education. And it is brutal, especially being in a mixed environment where kids, if it's different, if it's an art school, all the kids are sort of a certain type of mentality, a certain type of way. And when you're in sort of just a very mixed bag of an environment, it can really make it difficult. And yes, kids are jerks. I was in a fight in the 7th grade, and I was a student council president, vice president. And it started off over what was a bullying tactic, just someone picking on me. And then it escalated into a full-on fight. And this girl was twice my size. You know, needless to say, we both were suspended, but at the same time, you know, you don't get over that. You're always going to be on alert. Now, my question is, has she moved from that school, or is she going to be continuing to attend that school?
The same day the incident happened, she was removed. I didn't let them go back in there. Any place that I felt like both of my children felt threatened, that was it. So I pulled them out immediately.
Awesome.
Cindy, you froze, but your audio came through pretty good, and you're back now video wise. Real quick, Shonda, can I say one more thing?
Yes.
Statistically, you saw that what you also shared was less than half of students who are bullied actually inform somebody that they're being bullied. That's a problem in and of itself.
Yeah.
And the last thing I wanted to mention is that we don't often talk about the bully, and very often the bully has been or is being bullied as well. Now, that's not to make an excuse. It's just to say that's learned behavior, and that gets trickled down. That's why we need to intervene, and we need to address the bully, because I had a situation one time with a student. It was a girl, a 5th grade girl, bullying this other boy in class, and it wasn't near to the severity that we saw there, or that it could have been, but it was to the point where that boy was he was hesitant. He didn't want to go to class anymore. It was that agonizing for him and that miserable. Well, I intervened and talked to the girl. The girl didn't even realize that she was bullying this boy because, and I won't get too deep into the psychology behind it. She was at a dance studio where there was a girl in the dance studio ostracizing her and picking on her and bullying her for 2 years, and she didn't tell anybody about it. She didn't realize that subconsciously she was taking this out on this boy because she had gotten bullied. As soon as I brought it to her attention, we explored it. She had a whole breakdown, a meltdown, then to build back up. It was an apology. It was an understanding. They sat together. And so she was changed forever. But if we wouldn't have really intervened, that'd have been a problem. So with bullies, we need to know also, because we can help those children. Now, I'm talking about a child that has that situation. I'm not talking about children with oppositional defiant disorder, conduct disorder, antisocial personality disorder. We have a problem with kids in school now who are, like we say, just cruel and mean because of their environment at home, who they learned it from. And they're coming out here, like we say, just beating people and fighting. And that's antisocial behavior. Nonetheless, it's not acceptable, but we do have to be really, really sensitive to this topic and understand what it is, what we can do about it, and take action. if for no other reason, for the safety of the students. And that just seems like common sense, but it ain't so common nowadays. We let other things get in the way, I guess. And we have to have some core values, which is like, this is not going to be acceptable. And the news, or I should say the school board and the union, should have said that principal was absolutely relocated because of this incident. They can't and they won't contractually and so on and so forth. But, we want to know what's going on and what's happening. And lastly, I'll say this. We look at, and you said it already, Sean, that we look at Uvalde and we look at the film now where there were officers, and I don't know the details, but there were officers in the building for up to an hour while this was taking place. We need accountability on the people who signed up to do this particular job and didn't do it. Same goes for teachers and security guards at the school when something like this happens in this video. That's my personal take, at least.
Whew, there's so many questions going in my head. I know time is just going to take us way past the time I wanted to spend on it. But I do have a couple of comments and questions. So one, back to the security. I remember I worked security at a school a while ago. Let me put the school out there. And there was a football player. It was a high school. There was a football player who was one of the best players on the team, who, in front of everybody, staff, kids, whoever, beat his girlfriend. Beat her to a pulp. Mm-hmm. Everyone's trying to, after a while, break it up. And that boy's back in school the next day because he played football. He was back in school the next day. He was back playing on the team. From what I can remember, nothing immediately happened to him. Nothing. I, as a parent, as a security guard, I left that job because I could not trust that I would be protected if something happened. Those kids were walking around cussing the staff out, fighting security, doing all type of stuff, and nothing was done. I was like, you know what? For their safety and my sanity, let me get out of here because I may react, and I don't want to lose my life, my job, or my freedom because of I feel the responsibleness of the school.
Yeah.
I don't.
Not only was that not fair to that woman, that the girl that received. That was on the end of that abuse, but they did that kid an injustice as well. Exactly. What message did they send to him? You can do something like this and we'll sweep it under the rug because of X, Y, and Z. They set that boy up for failure. And
it wasn't something that was like, in the hallway where nobody saw. It was in front of the school with a bus. Like everybody saw it.
Even worse.
It's nothing they could hide and say, it was an isolated incident. No, it was a whole brawl between him and her. And everybody trying to bring. I just felt it was so wrong. But I remember that as you were talking about security because I've seen it for myself. I was a security guard. Maybe I don't know how long I was there. I left because I couldn't do it. Second, I want to ask Christina: was something done to the ones who bullied her, who fought her, who abused her? Was something done to them? If you could talk about that.
I doubt they even told her that because, I'll be honest, they don't even tell people what their repercussions are for other parents. Sometimes, what did they say, Christina?
I know the school didn't do anything, and when I asked at the time what would be done, after this vicious attack happened to my daughter, the school was like, we can't advise you on how we choose to deal with them or how, we punish them. So that was what the school advised me. But, being in contact with, because it got as far as to where the local police department was involved. And I was finding out through them what was going on. So from there, they were arrested. They were charged. As far as I know, one of them had did time in juvie, which was on the local news. And that's where we're at with it now. So the school initially didn't want to disclose anything.
The new school year is coming up, and this just hurt my heart, Lord. The new school year is coming up. I know your babies have to get ready for the new school year. How are they feeling? I know they're at another school now. Or did they? I'm sorry, you did say they started another school right after that happened, right?
No, they were actually doing virtual school. They were too scared to go back to school.
Are they going to start school this school year? Or are you going to keep them on virtual?
We've talked about it. We're weighing options on different schools to attend. It's going down like it's different now, because before, as a parent, like I used to be like, okay, I'm gonna put them in school. I'll look at the record to see if it's an A school or B school. But now it's like I'm trying to look up to see how many fights y'all have in a year. Oh, man,
Yeah.
who y'all got as security? Like,
Yeah.
can I find any news articles about y'all having some type of violence and not keeping your kids safe? So now I'm like OCD with it now. It's like I'm really, really looking, and I'm talking to them, and it's like, if y'all don't feel comfortable, we not gonna do it. And like, what's crazy, like, it's just like this whole thing, like, it changed everything. Like, it changed everything. And it's me at this moment trying to be really sensitive to what they want and accommodate them, because on my end, it's my duty to make sure that they're safe. That, when I send them off there, that's supposed to be a place that I trust, because they have my children.
Yes.
So, by that happening, I feel funny about any school, because whatever school you send a child to, fights happen, attacks happen, you hear about it. But it's a whole different ball field now. After what just happened, I'm just like, if it was up to me, I'd homeschool them. But because I'm all over the place, that's not even an option.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's more so like, I need to find something that's gonna make them feel safe. And like, we're literally still looking into other schools. Like, we haven't even officially found a school.
Christina, if I could give you real quick some advice. First of all, stay strong as you possibly can, obviously for yourself, but for them. And eventually they do need to know, as young folks, as 13 and 14, you said 12 and 13, or 13 and 14, you said. So
13 and 14, yeah.
They've got a couple more years of school to go. And what they do need to know when you're ready and when they're ready is they can do this. They can go back. They can socialize. They can interact. And so that's another thing, the strength. And I often talk about, a lot of times what we need to do is not focus on trying to control other people from hurting us or saying whatever. We do need to find that strength. Now, your daughter's situation, again, was a beating. That was a whole different situation.
That was a whole
I can't even really apply bullying techniques to that, because that was just ridiculous. But she needs to know that she's strong. She will and can overcome this, and she can face confrontations and normal occurrences. That comes with time as well. But for you also, when you do, and if you do choose a school, see if they still have them, a PTSD. Get involved with the parents that are really involved, even if they're, we got some special parents that are kind of always hands-on for their babies and all that, but jump in the mix. Say, look, this is why I'm here, and how can I contribute to all of our kids being safe? Get involved with the school. There's ways to do that. I'd encourage you to do that. Don't hesitate.
Yes.
I wanted to touch on just two more things when we finish with this topic. So I was looking up, I wanted to not open this, I wanted to make sure when we open this can that we have some resources or information to help parents. And I feel that if you are an adult in the school, if you know what's going on, reading, it says, when adults respond quickly and consistently to bullying behavior, they send the message that is not acceptable. And I feel that in schools, even as parents, if you feel your child is a bully, if you feel your child is in that situation, it's on you as a parent first to make sure you step in and you stop that and let them know it's not going to be tolerated. And I feel a lot of kids in the school and at home, when it comes to situations like that, get a smack on the wrist. So they're not afraid of that. Our kids these days have no fear. They ain't afraid of anything. And you pretty much have to show them better than you tell them, because they're not afraid of anything. They do whatever, because it's all about going viral. It's all about social media. It's all about, the clout I can get. Parents, school, staff, everything, everybody needs to stop it where it happens immediately. And you show the school that show the kids at the school, we're not tolerating it. I would love for a principal to put their foot down on bullying. I'm not saying there are not principals that don't, because I know a lot of people that I know are principals, but I want to know that, or feel better that principals are in the school district itself.
Yeah, it actually starts with the superintendent, Shonda.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, it actually is like, look,
Yeah.
that's where it starts with the superintendent. To
Exactly.
be honest, and that's where it would have to come from.
And also, if you feel that your child is a bully, communicate. When you recognize that your child has become a bully, start by opening a line of communication with your child. Now, if the child comes from a home where that is not possible, that's a whole nother a topic. But as teachers in the school, again, as staff that may see this child more during the day, step in and see how you can help. Because a lot of times, as Ryan said earlier, it may start at home. It may start from a child being bullied somewhere else. I know as an adult, for me, being a domestic violence survivor, when I started my new relationship, I was mean as heck. And I was determined to take my control back from being abused. So I took that and I put that on my husband now. I thank God he didn't leave me child because I would have left me a long time ago. And that's my topic. That was my title to a part of the book I was in. I wrote as well. Because I know that dealing with past trauma, you put that on other people. You put
unconsciously. You don't mean to do it.
You don't mean to do it. You don't realize you're doing it.
No.
I lost friends and know why my friends don't like me. They don't like me. What happened? Because I was just mean and I was attacking them verbally and being mean and ignoring people. And it happens.
You had anger and pain inside. Yeah.
So as an adult, I didn't recognize. So imagine a child. That child probably doesn't recognize they're doing it. So as adults, we have to step in and help these kids understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Whew. Thank you so much, Christina. I really appreciate you being vulnerable and being open to having this conversation with us. I am always praying for you. You know, since this happened, we've been talking. And give Vivi my love and your son as well. We don't want to leave him out of this because I know he's affected by it. Is there anything else you want to leave parents with or students or staff with before you go?
I want to advise parents, guardians, get educated with the bullying laws in your county, in the state of Florida. Also, get familiar with protocol, who you need to contact. Currently, I'm in Broward County. Broward County does have an anonymous form that you can submit on site if there is a child bullying another child in the school. Have paper trail to show that you're trying to make a change in that. And oftentimes people think of bullying as a form of just physical violence. It's cyberbullying, it's verbal threats, it's physical violence. It's a list of whole other things. And in this generation that we're in now, a lot of children are doing bullying through form of social media.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter's video of the attack was shared on TikTok, on Instagram. It was circulating. So people, we had to be cognizant. All those are a form of cyberbullying. So not only did she endure, being beat, she also endured the cyberbullying and was tormented from that. So I always advise parents, especially in particular from this situation, get educated with your laws, because a lot of people don't know, aren't familiar with what you can do, what's right and what's not right. And the thing is, you have a lot of school officials with heavy titles who hear about this day in, day out, and they're not making no moves. So if your child is continuously coming to you, telling you about these situations, because this situation has allowed me to connect with other people and I've heard their story, immediately, help your child in whatever way you can. Because of Vivi's situation, a lot of parents have contacted me and said, I took my child out of the school immediately. Not this particular school, but other parents that were going through situations at other schools has said, look, that story with Vivi, it has allowed us to just put her in put our child in a completely different school. They said because the times, like, we went to school like 80s babies, 70s babies, 60s babies and below. It wasn't even like that. Like, we living in like a whole different time where these kids are really living for likes, for views, and for popularity. Yeah, so it's like now you got to really just be cognizant, man, and you got to really understand that a lot of these kids are broken too. They come from broken homes, broken places. The pandemic did a toll on them. A lot of these kids had to deal with abuse during the pandemic, and no, none of these kids received any counseling when they physically returned back to school. So a lot of their anger and frustration is taken out on children that you know that did nothing to them.
Right.
So I just want to encourage parents and community leaders and those who are examples in the community, in the school, to just be vigilant, be cognizant, and continue, you know, to be a voice for those who are in situations that they can't speak of.
Thank you so much, Christina. I appreciate you. I know this was not easy. Um, and I was make sure we are very sensitive to, you know, what is going on with you and your baby. And I'm glad we waited till we did, because
Yes.
it was very fresh when we first
Yeah.
talked about it.
Yeah.
If everyone wants to follow their story and see the updates and what's going on, the hashtag is Justice for Vivi, VIVI. Follow the hashtag and keep updated with what's going on. I pray the best situation happens for you, your baby, your son, in this situation. I hope that you all get some resolution from it, and but most importantly, some healing from it.
Yes.
But I love you so much. Thank you for
You
coming.
love you too.
And we will talk soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care, Christina.
Thank you, Christina.
Ooh, child. Okay. So we're gonna take a break. Well, not a break, but we're gonna move on because that's a lot. But I want parents and kids and everyone to know that it's not cool. Going viral shouldn't be at the cost of someone being hurt. But we're gonna move on. If I can get myself together. We're gonna move on to the beautiful lady with all the hair.
Wait, it's two of us now.
Hey, speaking.
I got half a head. Okay.
Speaking.
Miss Cindy with her Cindy Spotlight. I can't sing your song, boo, but you got it.
Cindy's Spotlight. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Cindy Spotlight with your girl, Cindy Winters. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's happening in Miami. Coconut Grove is welcoming a new restaurant. If y'all like to eat, do y'all like to go out and put on your good wig and take your girdle off and head out on a date night? This is the new place. Coconut Grove is welcoming the Bayshore Club, opening on next Monday, July 25th. It's the Grove Bay Hospitality Group. You know, they're going to have some wines. They're going to have some spirits. They're going to have some good foods. And I think that it might be another place for a Talk Miami meeting. What do you guys think?
Absolutely. You know it.
That's right. They're serving at the Bayshore Club opens to the public on Monday, July 25th, serving lunch and dinner daily. Brunch will be available on weekends. And it's joining the small list of waterfront restaurants in Miami. So you can pay your Bloody Mary with the views of Biscayne Bay. Thanks, Time Out Miami, for this beautiful segment. And ladies, Ryan, something, and I go with Talk Miami fam, ladies and Ryan, we have a very special thing coming to the Magic City. Channing Tatum is bringing his very famous Magic Mike live show to Miami, opening on October 13th. Last week there was an event that you could attend, and thank you to Time Out Magazine or timeout.com for the exclusive photos. And we have an undisclosed or indisclosed source that was inside of the event. Let's take a look at Magic Mike live.
Oh, Jesus.
We've turned the sound off to protect the identities of the source. But you can see here that for our viewers and listeners at home, you'd have to go to our YouTube channel and Facebook Live to make sure that you're catching all of the information that is coming through the screen that we cannot show on our podcast. So Magic Mike Live comes to Miami opening October 13th. Make sure you get your tickets. Bachelorettes, lady night, date night with your girls.
And only her.
Check out some Swinging Richards. And that's all we have for today. It's Cindy Spotlight. Thanks so much, you guys.
I wonder who was there. I mean, whoever was there.
Ryan, you hit it on the head. TK and only TK.
Who was there? I mean,
listen, we got an inside scoop, and we're grateful for the material. Thank you all so much.
Thank you all so much. Thank you so much, Cindy.
Back to you, Shonda.
We enjoy it every time. Thank you for letting us know what's going on. I got to check out that Bayshore restaurant. You know, Mondays are our date day. Well, today we're handling business, but
wait, look at Ryan. Look at Ryan. Look at Ryan.
What you doing, Ryan?
Next Monday, that beautiful restaurant is opening, and you and George can have your date night.
I don't know who was there. I don't know who was there. I don't know who's the inside scoop.
Ryan, you did not put on the tape. Okay, so I want to go to the next topic only because I did so much research. We have to do my topic. And we had a great conversation. We went out to dinner because Cindy was here in Miami. She graced us with her presence, and we had a wonderful evening. All of us, our Top Miami family, we went out to dinner, I guess, and we talked about this at the table, and it got kind of heated. So I want to talk about this really quick. Topic 2, friend zone. Can men and women be just friends? No. Now, I know we have a lot of let me get my words right. Gender specific beings that may beg to differ or want to elaborate. I'm just going to stay right here in this box about this topic. I'm not going that deep. I don't want no problems. I want no smoke. So I'm talking about if you call yourself a male or female, can male or females be just friends? And so I did a little checking around. I'm not gonna read all this because I do have a lot of stuff to read, but I'm not gonna read all that. But according to I can't even see the website because the thing in front of it. But one of these websites says men and women can only be friends when the woman dictates.
What is shape.com?
Don't be questioning
Don't be discrediting the resource.
What in the hell? Let's go, bro.
Ryan, don't do that to my resources, honey. I did some extensive research on this topic.
Keep extending because I ain't seen the extensiveness yet. Go ahead on, Shonda.
So shape.com says men and women can only be friends when a woman dictates the friendship. What do y'all think about it?
Look at the second one. Scientific. What did it say? Scientificamerican.com.
Their experience suggests that non-romantic friendships between males and females are not only possible, but common. Men and women live, work, and play side by side and generally seem to be able to avoid spontaneously sleeping together. Spontaneously means without alcohol or with alcohol. However, the possibility remains that this apparently platonic coexistence is merely a facade, an elaborate dance covering up countless sexual impulses bubbling just beneath the surface. I like that little sentence, honey. That was kind of hot.
Facts.
That ain't no friendship. That was not no friendship.
Let me read that again. However, the possibility remains that this apparently platonic coexistence is merely a facade, an elaborate dance covering up countless sexual impulses bubbling just beneath the surface. I need y'all to talk to me.
How much time do we have for I could slay this topic? We got 6 minutes.
We talked about this over lunch, remember?
Right, but I'm gonna fall back. But we only have 6 minutes. What are we doing here?
Ryan,
do it. Talk Miami fam. Y'all got to chime in.
Right out no more. Do it.
So you see, Sarah hit it on the head. This is kind of my case in point. We always come back to. She says yes with some boundaries. If boundaries need to be set, we're not talking about a friendship. And I'm not yelling at you, Sarah. I'm just kind of making the point that if you have anything outside of a genuine, no motive, no hidden agenda situation, you don't have a friendship.
Ryan, really?
Really?
Okay, say it again, Ryan. Hold on, TK. Say it one more time, Ryan.
We're talking about agendas. We're talking about ulterior motives. If you
Right.
have any of those things that are relevant or that are relevant in the situation, you don't have a genuine friendship. It degrades the friendship.
Right.
With a friendship, there's no motive. It's genuine. But when you have to set boundaries, that's not a friendship. Because why are you setting boundaries?
No.
You can call it a friendship.
Ryan, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Let me help you out, bro. If I have to tell you that we're only friends and we're not sleeping together, we're not friends.
Yeah, you can call it friends.
I ain't got to tell TK I don't want to sleep with her because she know that because we ain't friends. I ain't got to tell Ryan I don't want to sleep with him because we friends. He know that. If I have to say, look, sir, when I come talk to you, when we do this, we're only doing this, and there's boundaries set, then it's not a friendship anyway, and it's going to lead to being inappropriate. But go ahead, TK, because you about to come bust with your braids. Go ahead, boo.
No, I'm just saying, how can y'all? That's any friendship, even any relationship, even with your children, even with your parents.
We're talking about boundaries. We're talking about sexually and bound and stuff like that. When you're talking, you're going too deep. Just come back.
Okay. Bring it back.
Notes.
Okay.
Go ahead, Cindy. I got notes. I didn't just pop off for no reason. I got notes.
Turn.
No, but I mean, thank you for clarifying that, because I mean, to answer your question, to me, can you be friends? Can you be friends with the opposite sex?
Sure.
If you're in a relationship, is that your? Because there's two parts.
You can add that. I was going to go there next, but I'm just saying you can add that. We're talking about
the answer is yes.
Being friends. Can you all just be friends without any
no, that's it.
Wanting to have sex with each other? But as Ryan said, if you have to make that specific in the boundaries, then it's not a friendship in the first place. That's what I agree on too. But go ahead with your thoughts.
I agree with Sarah. To me, sorry, Ryan, to me, I have coworkers. I have guy coworkers that are coworkers, but then you become so close that we can go out and we still consider each other friends. I even invited him to my wedding. So but you
never had to sit down with him and say, look, we're not going to have sex.
I never had to do that. So
that's what I'm saying.
So the answer is yes, you can have friends. However, that my male friends know my husband. I don't have any male friends that he doesn't know about. Because to me, that means you're keeping it a secret. If it's a friend, we all gonna be friends up in here.
Okay, Cindy.
So I took a poll on my Instagram. And 190 people voted.
Instagram's a good source. What'd they say?
And 87% of people voted yes.
Let me tell you why.
And 13% voted no. I hear what TK is saying about, if you're in a relationship, if you're single, then yes, the boundaries can be tested, right? But if you establish a serious boundary when you lay out that you are in a relationship, so that person is not going to come unless he or she is bold, which they are. Y'all exist out here. Comes forward and makes their claim known. I have many guy friends. I think having a friend of the opposite sex, whether heterosexual or homosexual or otherwise gender fluid, they are essential to a person's life, to the opposite person of the opposite sex's life, because their insight is invaluable. There are things that they can share with you about your partner that you don't think about. So I cherish my friendships with men, with heterosexual men, with straight men specifically, because I'm like, talk me off this ledge if I'm wrong. And if I am wrong, then, or they can offer me some insight, then that works. Now, listen, trust, I'm cute. And if the door is open, then, and I'm single, of course, there's a moment to try, shoot your shot, bro,
Yeah, you
but
single different.
You just make it clear, and that will be it. Now, can you be friends? Absolutely. That's the short answer, and I'm sticking to that.
Okay, so But Ryan, before you go in, because I know you itching over there in your seat.
You see his face.
Look at him. Look at him.
Look at him.
Hands
Let me
in his
add my
pants.
2 cents, and bro, you can take it home. I do not have male friends. I mean, besides Ryan, because he's on the show.
He is my best friend.
However, George ain't got not now. I'm gonna give y'all the best ebonics I can do. He ain't got not now female friend ever. I never will have any. I'm her. I am she. Whatever wig he want me to wear, I will put it on. He don't need no female friends because I got this. He didn't have none before. He didn't have any during. No, he have any now. So, and I don't have any either.
Where's George?
And it's not because we demanded that. It's just always been a non-spoken thing that we never had male or female of opposite sex friends. We never did. That wasn't like I never had them before I met them. So why get some during the relationship? Now I'm not knocking people if they do. It works for some people, but it's just not that it happened. You know what I mean? It didn't happen before. So it's like me going to find a new friend, but hey baby, this is my friend. Y'all know George Roberts ain't with that. He's like, friend well, friend who? No, we're not doing it. So I'm not, and I'm okay because I don't need no other female going to put in my husband's head that I'm wrong about something. We go to marriage counseling for that. I don't need to talk to no male about what my husband is doing or not doing. We go to marriage counseling for that if it gets to that point. Or I got my, married friends that I will discuss, situations with to see their point of view or perspective, I should say. All of my girlfriends are single. I don't think I have. Oh, I have a few. I lie. I'm lying. I take it back. I don't want nobody to cuss me out. Sorry, y'all. I do have a. I do have a couple of married friends. I do. So if things need to get to that point, I have them to go to because I feel that they can relate to our situation. You know what I'm saying? But no, we don't have friends. We won't have friends outside of that.
Right. I think it's different because we're married.
You lead a talk show. We can't be friends no more, but go ahead.
So here are some important caveats to this conversation, which I've had for years, and I talk.
You have to make it fast, Ryan.
With my students, I talk about this. Yes, I talk about this with my students. So here are some caveats. But before I get to the caveats, Cindy, I want to speak to the 87% of those Instagram people on your Instagram followers. That 87% of your Instagram of that poll said that they get friends, that you can be friends with opposite sex. Let me tell you something about that 87%. 87% of that 87% said that because 87% of them have a friend of the opposite sex that is more than a friend. So if they said they couldn't, they'd be calling themselves out. But we'll leave that to another time. I want to just talk about the caveats. You're right, TK. You're right. And the caveat is I move this conversation from friends to best friends. I think can they be best friends is an easier conversation to say yes or no. Because you're right, TK. Friends, sure. What's a friend? And so are we friendly? Because like Shonda said, I'm sure you're friendly with a lot of guys. Friendly. Hi, how you doing? How you been? But we're not best friends. And in terms of friends, what's the definition of a friend for you? For some people, you're friends and you get along and you contact and whatever the case is, and they are important and they're critical. You're right, TK. I move the conversation to can they be best friends, and it's a hard no for me. And the reason, and here's another caveat: we're not talking about family members or somebody who's like family, somebody you've known for 20 years, 15 years, never had a relationship with outside of platonic, genuine friendship with no romance, not an ex, someone who you grew up with or have known for an extended period of time that is like a brother or a sister to you that you may not talk to in 6 months. I'm talking about a best friend, someone you talk to daily, every other day, you spend time with on a regular basis. Can a man and a woman, straight man, straight woman, and by the way, what we're talking about here is same orientation. So if you're homosexual, just same orientation. We're talking about, so never mind the gender or the sex, same orientation. Are we all on the same page? That's what we're talking about. Can those two people just be friends? And it's a hard no for me, best friends, I should say, because biology, I told you this when we were eating dinner, biology doesn't care who you just want to be best friends with. Biology is going to kick in. The more two people hang around each other, somebody's going to catch some kind of butterfly at some point. I'll finish with this. I know we have to go. I see only 3 reasons why two people would consider themselves or tell themselves, same-sex orientation, that they're best friends. Number 1 is they haven't woken up to the fact or the truth that they're a couple yet. And it's just a matter of time. They don't even realize it. The second one is that one of them has feelings for the other that the other one either doesn't know of or doesn't want to acknowledge, and they just keep going through the motions of best friends. All right, so that's the other one. Or The third reason why a male and a female or two of the same sex relationship, same orientation people could be in a relationship is they both have some sort of commitment avoidant or fear of commitment issue, and they're settling for this pseudo relationship with no responsibilities, no commitment, therefore no consequences. So it's easier to just call each other best friends because there's no obligations to either one of you. But really what you're doing is you're afraid of really taking that next step, because why wouldn't you if they're your best friend? Why wouldn't you take that next step? And that might be one of the deeper reasons. So that's my thing. One, biology doesn't care who you just want to be best friends with. It's going to be, you're going to be tempted. And if one person's tempted, now you got to ask yourselves what I was talking about earlier, Cindy. What's your motive for being my friend? Is it because you care about me and you want to help me and be my friend? Or is it because you want a shot with me so you're going to hang around? That's a motive I don't want from a friend. That's a muddy water right there. So I want
need to elaborate on another episode.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It was a topic we talked about. But last thing
you got 2 minutes.
I'm done. People will lie to themselves, or they're naive about the fact that they're, quote, I've ruined so many people's lives in my classes, not literally, but had to have them leave class and go tell their best friend, wow, I didn't realize it, but you actually have a crush on me. And now I realize that I've been playing myself. They either are naive or they just don't want to admit the truth to themselves. It's easier to keep somebody on the side, or I know they like me, so I'm going to keep them and I'm going to call them a friend. Just be honest with yourself. When you're honest, it'll come to light.
So true.
Yeah. I mean, and be honest with each other.
Well, Ryan, thank you. And since you're already talking, let's move on to your segment. Real Talk with Ryan David. Go ahead and give us some more info, because you always go deep down into the waters. Help us out, bro.
To the root.
To the root.
She said, since you're already talking, just keep it going.
Hey, you got 2 minutes.
Listen, I don't know about, real talk tonight. I just want to share with you guys a concept that came to me to talk about because of an experience that I had this weekend. I'll try to make it brief. Cindy's got me on a timer tonight, but I wanted to talk to you about the importance of our sensory inputs. In other words, the stimuli that we experience through our 5 senses that really make up and influence our reality. And I don't need to go through what they are, touch, taste, sight, sound, smell, whatever. Those 5 that are there. I hope I said them all. You know what they are. And so what I did this weekend was I did a flotation tank. It's a sensory deprivation flotation tank. And what you do is, just to make it brief, I have no affiliation with this company, but it's called Flotate. Float and the number 8. You go in and you get in this water that has so much salt in it, essentially this solution with this salt, that you float. You're buoyant. And what you do is you go in this tank with this water. It's about probably maybe not even a foot deep. You get in there, you go through a process, and you have the option of leaving the light on. It's a neon light, and having some music playing dimly in the background. You put the earplugs in, they give you Now I went in and I went lights off, no sound, complete black darkness. And the reason why you go through this experience is to literally deprive yourself of your senses, so you can be alone essentially with your own thoughts. And if you're terrified of this, then you absolutely need to do it. And that's the point. And so when I came out of this experience for an hour, and you're in there, and it's an amazing physical experience because you're buoyant, you're floating, and the water is body temperature. So you don't even really feel the water if you're still. You don't hear anything, you don't see anything, you don't smell anything, you don't feel anything, and don't taste the water. So you don't taste anything. So physically, it is, I can't even put it into words, the experience physically. But then you have, I'm kind of on a regular basis doing, self-reflecting. So the introspective part wasn't as deep for me as it probably is for a lot of people who don't spend time alone or in thought. And so I could speak more to that, but there's also a layer which is very introspective. I'll put it to you like this. Someone else that did this came out of it after having dealt with trauma and abuse in their past. A new person absolutely shed that of themselves, turned the corner, said, I'm done. All that's gone. This was a life-changing experience for me because of how I thought about what I've been thinking about, because I was there to face it. It wasn't any anxiety for them in this experience. It wasn't really fearful. It wasn't terrifying. It was a relief, they said. So I would encourage everybody, look into doing this. And that company I can vouch for, I did it. But the point is, I came out of that myself. I can speak for. You reset your senses. And so when you come out of that, everything is almost a blank slate. You went an hour without hearing anything, seeing anything, and so on. So everything's fresh once again. Your nervous system is deregulated in a sense. And so it's brought your arousal level down to homeostasis. And you all don't realize, I'm speaking to people who haven't done this before or had a reset with their nervous system. You all out there don't realize how much your nervous system, your emotions are influenced and affected and really determined by the senses that you're allowing in. Someone talking, music you play, what you're watching, what you're eating, what the temperature is. These things are what's making up your reality, and they're influencing your nervous system. It's good to reset. I got a chance to reset. It was an amazing experience. I'll talk more about it in one of my YouTube videos, and I maybe talk about this concept of resetting your nervous system in the future, but amazing experience. I highly recommend it to you guys looking into it. And even if you can't do that flotation experience, just go somewhere, be quiet and still, and cut out as a practice. It's a meditative experience. As a practice, cut out. Find a time every day, every week, at least cut out as many stimuli as you can. It's really good for your overall health.
You don't understand the anxiety I just went through listening to you.
I heard Shonda screaming the whole way, and she was on mute.
I saw it. We gotta get her. We gotta get her in there.
I was literally having an anxiety attack, low key, because I can't. And it was dark in there too.
Pitch black. It's supposed to be. Has to be.
Oh, baby, no, they'll be screaming. I'll be knocking and screaming, and I'll drown just because.
Hey, y'all, everybody out there, Gloria, Katrina, George, you hear this? Watch, Sarah. Watch. We're gonna get Sean to do this experience. So I got somebody who's gonna talk to you. You're gonna do it.
I can do that.
I promise you.
Right.
Don't wear your best wig.
We're gonna move this YouTube channel to the streets. We're gonna go to the flotation therapy. I actually did it, Ryan, a few years ago, almost 10 years ago, in Denver, Colorado. Yeah. I haven't done it since because I hadn't thought about it, honestly.
Similar experience. Was it beneficial in any way, Cindy?
I think so. I think what we did it for was, yes, sensory deprivation, but also because it's a giant tub of Epsom salt, it sort of draws out the aches and pains. And so that's why I did it as well. I do recommend it. It is, you are in a essentially encased dark space.
If you want, there's options. It's not.
There is a light. You know, I did have the light. It was very dim. It was very dim light. But you know, that's a sort of a moment where you can really deal with yourself.
It's all you can
because
do.
nothing's there to hurt you.
Nothing else.
So I recommend it as well.
I'm about to talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, I go to sleep watching Good Times of the Jeffersons.
You know what, Shonda? You know what, George?
Moving right along. We're gonna go to
comedy.
Lord, this girl said George Jefferson. Moving on up. Moving on up.
I watch Good Times or the Jeffersons. I don't sleep in the dark. Y'all know I got it bad, but go ahead. We're gonna start on me tonight.
You gotta work on that.
It's okay. Ryan, you and I are just in alignment tonight.
What you got?
Because that's exactly what my motivational moment. I think because you and I just came off. I was on vacation last week, and even though I didn't go anywhere far. I just literally went to Fort Lauderdale. But it was a time to break off, to disconnect, and just really, for one weekend, just focus on Farrell and I for our anniversary. But I was still on vacation for an entire week, and I really didn't have any big thing to do on my vacation, but it was a time for me to reflect. I did self-reflection. It was time for me to grab my journal because we are half of the year has gone by, guys. Do you still remember your New Year's resolutions? Do you remember your goals? Where are you? Thank you, Cindy. Where are you with those goals? So I went back and looked at my goals from January that I made for this year to see what I was able to check off. And if I wasn't able to check off anything, giving myself a reassurance of what I needed to work on. So let me bring in the quote that I actually wanted to share with you guys. And Ryan didn't even know what you were going to talk about. And look at this. It says, find some quiet, private time. Allow yourself to slow down and relax. Find nature, meditate, or do nothing. Take a mental break. You'll gain the benefits of a quiet mind. Guys, when it is just you and nothing else, no music, no sound, is when you can really hear what you're trying to find out. I literally, you guys know I talk about this. I go to the ocean. Yours will probably the darkness, Ryan. I haven't done that yet. Got to try it. I'm open to it. But mine is the ocean. I literally go to the water. That's where I talk to God. That's where I talk to my Father. That's where I just self-reflect on life and where I am and where I'm trying to go. And so I had that opportunity. And guys, it felt so good to just disconnect. It felt so good not to even look at one email from work, not to even reply back to people. Some, depending on who it was, I didn't even answer the phone. Sometimes you just have to focus on you. So that is my word for you today. If you are frustrated, you feel like you are overworked and burnt out, it's okay to take a break. It is needed. I went back to work today, literally just refresh. I don't know what happened 10 days ago. Guess what? They will figure it out. They will work it out. Everything will still be okay because you have to take care of yourself first. So please, from my mouth to your ears, it's okay to take a break. So that's what I wanted to share with everybody, Shonda.
Thank you so much, TK. I needed that. I don't think I take breaks. I do. I'm lying. I do. I take breaks. I've taken one. Cindy, don't do the head to the side on me.
We want her to say no, right, Cindy?
No. No.
There are just sometimes things are more hectic in my life than other times, and but I do take breaks. And I wanted to read a comment by Mama Gloria. She said,
Mama
"Shonda,
Gloria,
things are never out of your control. When things I feel are out of my control, that's when I have anxiety attacks. I don't know, it's the issue with me. But if I can't have my hand on it, if I can't control it, that's when anxiety kicks. Like go airplanes, buses, bugs, butterflies."
there she goes. Cindy.
Water, crocodile, bees,
TSD.
mud.
TSD. Think say do.
I
TSD.
don't think it's something that can be healed. I think it's just my makeup. I
Nope.
think this is what it is.
Nope.
I don't think I can heal that.
Nope.
I could never be in a room, dark room with water and
You're wrong.
Yes, you can.
Long as you
Change
say
your words.
never, you can't.
Change
Long as
your
you saying
words.
never, you can't. Long as you saying never, you can't.
Right, you go change your
I don't
words.
think I can.
I want to say this, and I keep seeing this, and I'm telling you guys, it changed my life. The power of positive thinking. Get that book. It changed my life. The words that you tell yourself, Shonda, the first thing you said is that I can never. Right then and there, you've already convinced yourself.
I can read that book in and out. I'm not gonna do it. I know I'm not.
We got to work on her.
I'm not getting on roller coasters. I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm not.
Some things aren't necessary. That's fine. Don't mess with roller coasters. We don't care about them. You don't really need them for yourself. But this would be something that would, the benefits out of overcoming that little fear, the benefits would far outweigh that little bit of fear.
You know what? Okay, I'm open to it. Let's just say that. I'm open to it. Okay. Y'all gotta come with me.
No, 100%.
No, we'll support you. We'll support you. Okay.
I'm doing it. I'm open to it, but I don't know about the light being off. But anyway,
wear a bathing suit.
Don't turn it off. Don't turn it off. It's fine. I'm telling you now, there's options that will make everybody comfortable and you can get your benefits, your results. I'm telling you. Right. And if nothing else, like TK was saying, just get quiet. Leave the phone at home, go somewhere. The beach is a different place.
Don't do that.
Yeah, but you got to even do that, even that. This was extreme reset for me, but I'm saying reset, cut out as many senses as you can. Stimuli as you can, cut it out.
Yeah. Well, I will. I'll try. I'm going to try. But anyway, thank you all for joining us tonight.
Great job tonight, Shauna. Good stuff tonight.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh, let me flip my hair. So, Cindy, can you help us out? Where can they hear us, find us, look for us?
Talk Miami fam, you are steadfast and true, loyal listeners and family members. We appreciate you. You can always check us out at Talk Miami Talk Show, following us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit that like button. Get that bell notification to make sure you know when we're going live. And if you catch this stream and show after Monday nights, you can check us out on Talk Miami Podcasts on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in the search bar, Talk Miami Talk Show.
Yay. Thank you so much. I don't want to ignore our audience. I'm going to read a few comments just really quick.
Read Ryan's.
What did Ryan say? They make an airplane
float for the pool. 2 birds with 1 stone.
Ha, Ryan.
Ryan.
You know, and then he said the glass is always half full. I mean, well, she said, Mama Gloria said something. I guess this is the second part of her comment.
Listen to
I don't know. I'm going to try that. I'm going to see. My husband said in my Pac voice, you never had a friend like me. You better tell him, boo.
Hey,
Tell them,
yo.
Joy. She don't need no friend.
Also, Mama Gloria said friendships have foundations. Something they are built on. Things in common, goals, history, interests. I have and have had male friends. All right, Mama Gloria.
Okay, Mama Gloria.
We had something to build on besides sex. I think that's important. When you know what the friendship is already, you don't need to speak about certain things. You don't have to say, don't try me, don't touch me. But when you know there's a friend that likes you, that's a whole other thing. So I thank you all for tuning in. I enjoyed this. I really had a good time. The hour goes by so fast, though.
Doesn't
it?
Sorry,
Thank you
not
again
sorry.
for Miss Christina Neptune for tuning in. You are awesome. We're praying for your family. Everyone, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We love you. Have a good night.
All right, ladies.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Oh, Lord, I thought it was the outro still, but I'm just rubbing my hair. Thank you all for tuning in. I do want to tell TK,
Yes.
I got a mammogram.
You have a what?
I got a mammogram finally.
Everything good?
Yay! I'm so proud of you.
Taking care of me. I'm making sure I'm good. So
Yes.
I want to give a mammogram. My birthday's Sunday. Hopefully, I'll be giving a mammogram on
Nah,
Sunday.
he's
Y'all
gonna
celebrate
be
my
giving
Sunday,
a
July
mammogram.
24th. Y'all enjoy it. Y'all get a margarita or something on Sunday. Enjoy my birthday.
Wait
Celebrate.
a
Let's go.
minute. All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. I just